line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
We're down here today at Lundin, New Hampshire, and today the reason we visit this place is to see the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series once again return to battle into the war zone of the Magic Mile to see who exactly is the number one and on top of them all. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Shriver speaking. Welcome to the show. Welcome back as always. Yeah, they may call me the Crusader on the mic, but you know, these drivers, they sure like to throw down as much more than anything. So we'll see if that's what they like to do tonight. But yet, nevertheless, here a solid lineup, 26 drivers in this field here. We are on the Magic Mile, this mile-long track here, oval shape, very tight bankings, no real room for error. It's gonna be all about cornering and control. Weather right now holding up pretty well, and the temperature is doing a pretty good job as much as anything as they can. So the drivers will have some leeway to work with. But here's how we set the standards tonight. On the pole, Cale Gale, the 83, and the Blackstone Management Machine will be on the start. The outside of him, it's Randall Falks in the 3. Row 2, it's the Zanny fan, Craig Janzik at the 40 is outside. Brad Patton at the 10. Row 3, the Moltmann man, Robert Lawrence in the 34 is outside. The Wild Child, Eli Childs in the 9. Row number 4 sees Brian Alonso in the 77 is outside. That's the 4 of the Marwata, James Harris. Row 5 sees the 24, Nathan Meyer, and is outside. It's 82 is Brock Whitehead. Row 6 sees 90 of Richard Fornsheld is outside. The 53, that is Christian Wilcox. Row number 7, that's going to be Steve Clegg in the 22 is outside. That's Sean Bounty, the Bounty Hunter in the 19. Row 8 is Kevin Kersher in the 91 is outside. George Young in the number 48. Row number 9, it is the Man Beast, William Man Jr. in the 29 is outside. The attacker of Colin Lasmata, John Thacker, the 56. Row 10, it is Jason Taylor, and then in the 15 is outside. Sheldon Pearson who will pilot the 8. Row 11 sees Garth Snyder in the 88 is outside. That's the 20. That's the 39. Jonathan Diamond. Row number 12, Tyler Meeks in the 35 is outside. Charles Whitehead in the number 51. We got our final starters tonight. Playing up front, it is Kevin Ward in the 112 is outside. Triple Trey King to play. Whitehead in the 33. And race fans, I'm going a little bit solo here tonight. Unfortunately, Sparky could not make it, so it'll be just me here with you calling the action down here in Luden, New Hampshire. We're about ready to get set for the pace, set for the action. The last time we were here with a great battle from the Fast and Fun Series, it was with the Truck Series. Can they bring the same energy and live in town here down on with the Cup Series now? 120 laps to the distance. We're off and running. Through the field we go, through the mine zones here, and the crash course for the end of this one. 120 laps for these drivers to duke it out and fight it at their top of their level, while Randall Fox in the outside line tries to hold off the 10 of Brad Patton with his Anyfam Jandik running in the back. Maybe look at another variety in the VG number 40 at Ford Mustang into the flank field, into the run zone. The Mullet man Robert Lawrence tries to hold him down. The Mullet has not had a lot of luck here, and he's not getting much luck here either with that kind of little bumping and tagging on the wall already. And trouble down there, unfortunately. Richard Fornchell last night came away with a huge W and a victory of all things at Kansas Speedway, but this is not the start that he was looking for, having to travel all the way down here to the main side of things. Had a little bit of a trouble zone here off of turn number 2. Let's take a look at the PTM Instant Replay. Now down to New Hampshire's Motor Speedway. Again, this track is going to be really the main course of trouble and control. Those flat banks do not let you get a lot of leeway to keep the cars on play, so you're really having to muscle them around trying to hope for the best, but give credit where credit's due to everyone else. Talk about avoiding and self-awareness there. Impressive. Drivers were able to squander and get out of that mess quickly and avoid trouble. And that's the name of the game. Let's take it down now and talk with our drivers. So let's start from the outhouse and we'll work our way up to the White House of levels. But first, let's start it off with Sheldon Pearson in the PM and Sons number 8. Sheldon, my friend, it is a good time to see you once more, but I do not believe this is the qualifying spot you were looking for. And what happened with that today?
No, the qualifying set was just too tight. So I got to take what I got, man, and just try to survive.
You certainly do indeed. Now, we know when you were up front, you had some troubles kind of staying out of trouble, but now kind of working from the back, does that make things a little harder in your mind, or do you think it's going to be a little easier to kind of stretch your way up to the front?
Oh, no, it's like dodging bullets back here, man. It's way worse. I mean, more chances of wrecks in front of you, just like what just happened, so I guess we'll just have to take it easy, and I'm just trying to finish one of these.
For sure there. Well, my friend once said, if you can finish all the way from the back and get a pretty good spot up front, then you did your night in well, so best of luck there, sir, and I know you got something to say to the sponsors and thank them for something.
Yeah, I want to thank Champion Power Equipment, GMG, BSM, and you for broadcasting, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Well, the number 8 is Sheldon Pearson. You can hear him preparing to get back into the run and back into the zone. Let's have a listen in here with one of our other drivers now. We take it down to 3Y Motorsports and your third place finisher last night, the Marauder, James Harris, joins me in. Now, Marauder, you had to kind of switch up your strategy, obviously, coming from high banks to very low banks and flat surfaces. How much does that affect with your driving style?
Quite a bit, because you can't just sail her in there and go for it. If you do, you'll end up like Fornchell. But we looked at the points tonight, and I believe we are locked in to the playoffs. So we're going to take her a little easy near the end, and we're going to go for it this week and next week, and Marauder in true Marauder style, see what we can get before the playoffs start.
Well, you certainly have a big target on your head right now, so we'll let you get down to business and figure this out. Best of luck in the Green Mountain Grill with Ford Mustang.
10-4, I'm getting close to that 40 up there, too.
I wasn't going to say nothing. We'll let him do the talking. Good luck. 3Y Motorsports, the Marauder, James Harrison. I must apologize. Like I said, he was in a Mustang. He's actually in the Chevrolet Camaro. My apologies. Yeah, he drives a Ford F-150 in the truck series, by the way, so that's why the confusion came in. So, my bad. Usually I try to stay with the manufacturer that we go from each series to series, but then again, teams can be a little bit tricky, but that's beyond the point. Anyway, back to the action. There we go, off the start. Coming out of the gate here, Cale Gale has the early lead, and he, if I remember right, has locked himself into the playoffs, and that, for every other driver out there, that's not exactly something you want to be hearing. A guy like Cale Gaylor's Anyfam is bad enough. Randall Fox will definitely put up a fight in there and really give you a bit of a headache to have to try to figure out how to beat him. But you know, the fact you already got guys like the Marauder, James Harris kind of hanging in there, and even Eli the Wildchild trying to get back in there, that is going to definitely test a lot of drivers and a lot of patience here throughout this event, throughout this time. But I will say though, for a guy like Sean the Bounty Hunter Bounty, if there's ever a guy that really was trying to figure out the best and the brightest right now and get into the playoffs, he may be your dark horse to actually walk away with the W and the championship when all is said and done. I say that with two reasons. Number one, what did he do at the road course? Well, at the road course, he knocked down the Zanny fam of all things on his home track. That's not easy to do in its own right. That's already just a complete 180 and like the turn of, huh? What just happened? And also, on these short tracks, he seems like he knows how to really dial these things up on the mile-long tracks, and he's been getting a lot better on the mile-and-a-half, as shown from his battles from the 2-mile-long Michigan, as well as Kansas we saw a little earlier on. So, I feel as though he may be the dark horse to come away with the W and the victory when all is said and done, but again, you got high-caliber games like Cale, Gale, and Jantic still in that hunt looking for another championship, or their first championship here on PTM Racing TV, so watch out for them. And of course, young guns like Brock Whitehead certainly would like to probably knock their way into there. But first, they'll have to try to take down that elusive 19 bounty hunter I just talked about a minute ago. Crossing him over down out of turn number 4. Now looking to go deep inside and make him pay for that, but does not get the run he was looking for. He'll have to try to hold the run off down and keep it going as Brad Patton now starts to do a little maneuvering, start a little bit of pushing around on the track. Mama Beast in the house here. Good to hear from you, Mama Eli the Mon. Jess Ruckenberg saying, good luck, Eli Childs. We love you. Jess, good to hear from you, sweetie. Dusty Bardwell saying, go Robbie OnlyFans Orange. You know I will never call him that. He is always in my heart, and in for my soul will be the Mullet Man. By the way, he took that photo off on that screen. What? Robert, you're not supposed to take that photo off, and now people don't know you actually have the mullet and you're rocking it down there, bud. You got to keep the 80s alive, sir. He's making me look bad up here is what he's trying to do. Oh, boy. Well, that's beyond the point right now. Looking to be up to the front here right now. Steve Clegg, well, I was going to say a hometown boy trying to make some maneuvers, but we're going to have a little trouble down there. Charles Whitehead involved in another incident. John Diamond. A little collateral damage got caught in there. And I'm not sure what happened to that 51, but I mean, if everyone ever watched SRX, I'm not gonna lie. I think if we had a little screen that popped up, I think maybe we could say that Charles has now become the Paul Tracy of our show here. And it's kind of wrong. He's driving the green car out there. No offense there, Charles, but he's had an incident in every single event we've seen him in. It's not all of it's his fault. This one was not his fault, but it just happens. Looks like Jonathan Diamond and Kevin Ward were one of the ones that got into it, though, and started this whole train. Excuse me, not Ward, but Tyler Meeks. So let's take a look here at the PTM replay and from one more angle. We had our camera down there watching on. See right here what happened to the Carrillo 35. Looks like Fornshell was driving her in deep, trying to make her stick, and he thought maybe this was a short track and he can do a little bumping and banging. Well, it's a short track, but bumping and banging is kind of out of the question, sir. Unfortunately, though, it did not certainly stay true to his promise with Tyler Meeks, and sadly, Meeks gets the proverbial bumper, if you will. Well, let's take it back down now. We'll work our way from the outhouse and move up to the White House. So once again, take it down to Team Dump and Run. Let's have a listen in with the number 15, Jason Taylor. Taylor, how you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, bud?
Well, pretty good as well. And I'd say you're probably doing pretty good because you had to start a little bit lower in the pack, but you are moving the chains up. And as a driver, that's what you want to see, isn't it?
Yeah, doing my best. I never do qualify good here. I always get psyched up and overdrive the corner, but I'm good right now. I'm just trying to work my way through traffic, trying to be patient. You can really use up your stuff here quick.
You certainly can. Now, I'm not totally for sure. Is this the open setup or is this the fixed setup version we're going to do tonight?
This is open setup.
This is
yeah,
open.
this
okay.
was yeah. So got a pretty decent little setup here that Eli and those guys give me, and car seems like it's gonna be all right. I just got to work my way through traffic and be patient.
It certainly does indeed. So I want to ask this last question here, but with the way these team events work and all that, does that kind of help you guys get more aligned and more focused when you get out on the track to race it out?
Well, yeah, I mean, it just depends on the track, but I mean, here you can definitely kind of feed off each other as far as what the car's doing or pit strategy, things like that. You know, obviously no drafting here, but earlier Sheldon and I were working together to get in line and not be just abusing the car, but just besides each other. So you can help a little bit for sure.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Taylor, appreciate your time here today. We'll see what Team Dump and Run can bring to the table.
All right, man. We'll talk to you again in a little bit.
Sounds good. And by the way, Richard Fornshell part of that team dump and run, so I guess you could say they lived up to the nickname there. No offense to Fornshell. Although I gotta believe it was not on purpose by any means. I think he was just driving in hard. Meeks was trying to get the car to take a set. Sometimes trying to drive one way versus the other, you will have worlds collide. And I had opened my big fat mouth on worlds colliding. Look who's behind the 40. Let's just leave it at that. All I'm gonna say this, Marauder, you do what you want, but I'm not saying nothing. Let's just get back to the action. So off the start, to the line, Randall Falk's going to go up high a little bit, trying to make it stick down low as he gets in for the kill switch to go. Maneuvering off and out of turn number 2 here, and it is now the number 9 of Eli's a wild child. Now kind of being the protector for this anti-fan Janzik. But come on, we know as well as anything when those two get, when each Harris and Childs get involved in this one, you know magic might just about happen. On board here with the wild child as he continues to try to horse this thing around. There is a lot of muscling that involves going into these cars and going into these equipments. And that is certainly the case here. Look at Sanzik now, almost cross-running through with the number 9. Whoa, and Eli nearly loses a little bit out the corner. Now the mullet man, the mullet fans, man, unfortunately lost a little bit at turn 2 there. I was reading your comment there, Dusty Barbwell. I'm concise with that one, but I'm still calling him mullet man. I'm not calling him mullet fans all the time. That turn 2 is where you're going to see most of the action kind of play out when it comes to slipping and sliding. These drivers are going to have a hard time keeping them under wraps and under control because the problem is, again, they're trying to keep the rear ends from sliding underneath. There's a flat spot right as you come up. There you see it right there. You see that tack turf. They come out of that turn 2 exit. Once they get those rear tires on there and they're trying to gas on it, if they hit it just wrong, it's almost like you're literally turning the car into a dragster. It just is not going to grip. It's like you literally lifting the rear end up and the front side just completely gets nullified and there is no turning when you don't have all 4 wheels based down to the ground. That's why with these open setups I can adjust the suspensions to try to get the car to take more of a set, more of a run, and it makes for some impressive racing when it all is said and done. Kevin Kishore, the number 91 champion power equipment Chevrolet Camaro, trying to move around there with the number 33 of Triple Trade. Came to play Whitehead. Fighting it out pretty hard there. Meanwhile, teammates there, Nathan Meyer and the Zanny Fan Jantic trying to catch back up to each other. Robert Lawrence tonight representing for his crew. Trying to hang in there, trying to do whatever he can possibly perform to help out and do something here for his team. Obviously, he's had a lot of bad breaks and a lot of bad luck, and Caution comes back on out. Not sure what happened here, and I think maybe now we might have a good idea. It looks like Garth Snyder and Kevin Kishore collide once more. Kevin Kishore has had a bit of a rough season as well when it comes to getting stuck in the caution fest here, and it looks like this happens again. Let's take a look at it. Looks like Snyder might have clipped him coming off 4. No, looks like actually Kishore actually just overdrove it, and Fornshell actually he gets clipped badly there. Snyder getting the worst of it compared to what Kishore ended up dealing with. Take a look at the onboard camera here of Mr. Fornshell. That is the camera we have to work with here on this one. Watch very carefully when they come off out of turn number 4. You can see right here, Kishore, he was kind of in a bad rut. He was trying to keep the momentum alive. Fornshell's trying to avoid it. Little slight tap there. Unfortunately, Thacker couldn't avoid him. Well, that might have been George Young that he ended up getting kind of hit up with. Sad day, unfortunately. Just not a lot you can do in that spot, in that circumstance. So that'll re-rack, restack, and put everyone back out on the attack. Well, speaking of putting him back on the attack, I suppose we should probably bring him in. You knew who I was bringing in eventually, folks.
Well, hello.
Gotta love this guy. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Well, we're doing something all right. I'm just trying to figure out how the heck you're able to avoid some of this stuff, much as how you can even keep this car in one piece for a whole race.
I don't know. It is pure luck, I guess, because I don't deserve it, and I've put myself in some sticky situations. So,
Well, that much is true.
I don't know how it happens, man. Every once in a while, sun shines on a dog's butt every once in a while. So, how's the race going? How's it look up there in the front?
Well, I mean, if the sunshine was bright, I mean, I guess it's a little too much light for you, but looks okay up there. I guess I have no more comments for you. I really don't.
Oh, all right. Well, it's looking good in the middle. You know, we're doing right where
You
I'm
could
supposed to be in the
say it
middle.
looks right. It looks good in the mid pack.
The mid pack, yes. My boy George got roughed up a little bit.
Yep.
He'll be all right.
I said that was you by accident, but no, it was George Young that got kind of clangled with Hornshaw, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens. But you know,
All right, Thacker.
that's what happens in the mid pack.
Hey, man, always a mid pack, always. Right in the mid pack, always a mid pack.
Oh yeah, mid pack forever, bud.
right.
Unless I missed it last night, they're actually in the front.
Yeah, Forsyth was actually holding up your team for once there, helping you guys out a little bit.
Put it on the shoulders and carried it for a little bit.
He did indeed.
So. All right, well, I'm about to hopefully not die in turn one. Enjoy the little chat, and hopefully holler at you later. We'll
Yep. See you later, bud.
see. Yeah.
I know I try to keep it professional on the show, guys, but I'm sorry, but that one may have killed me a little bit inside. I'm sorry. So I'm going to try my best not to laugh a little hard out here. That was funny, though. Anyway, Rat Patton out of the gate here has got to move off on the number 3 of Randall Falks. Falks trying to hang on there with his teammate Cale Gale as the rest of the field tries to move their chains up a little bit. Eli the Wild Child's up 1-2 for the Mirage. James Harris. Steve Clegg, I was talking about him a minute ago, the hometown boy. Really on his home field track and home race advantage. He's trying to work his way down on the score. And oh, look out down there. A little tap there from Jason Taylor and Triple Trey gained by Whitehead. Caution flag comes out. Trey Whitehead got a clear cut knock there from Taylor. You saw it kind of happen right on your screen as it was transpiring, and not sure where that went wrong or what happened exactly. We just know it's coming out of turn 2 once again. We'll take a look at the replay. And you'll hear some of these guys too. Some of them will gear it down when they're going into the turn or coming out, and then slam the accelerator to get into 4th gear. Unfortunately, though, for Taylor, there was no getting out of that gear. Swung it wide, and then next thing you know, well, as they always put it, we're going for a ride. My. Well, drivers, we'll get figured back up and get things taken care of once more. So we'll take it down now and talk with John the Diamond here, the Diamondback in the number 39 now. Diamond, earlier on, you found yourself in kind of the receiving end of one of those little hiccups there at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. What happened out here?
Just nowhere to go. This track's really loose coming off the turns, and I think Shell got into Meeks and then took out 3 of our team, and just unfortunate to start the race.
It was indeed here, but now obviously trying to regroup and regain some momentum. How much do you think you lost off that little situation there?
Well, I'm actually higher than I was at that wreck, so I'm up to about 19th. I think I could stay out of wrecks from now on, but it does put me on a different strategy. I'm on newer tires than everybody else. See how that works out.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, we do appreciate your time here, and hopefully things can get a little bit better for you the rest of this race and the season, sir.
Thank you.
From Go Fast Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen, Don Diamondback, John the Diamond. All right, we'll take in the onlymulletfans.com machine here as it's actually a thing that he can do, Robert Lawrence. I don't even know if he can actually. I don't know if he's actually liable to do that. I don't think he can. Well, we'll take a listen in here and have a listen and talk with him here. Robert, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening indeed, my friend. So, it's been a while since we've talked with you.
Yeah, well, you know, and I've been stuck in a champion truck the last few weeks, so figured to get back in the old Blaster car.
Yeah, the Blaster Master.
What's happening? Just decided to have a ride with, right?
I thought, the fans wanted to hear from you. I mean, there is a couple of them out there that are now trying to make me call you the Mullet Man's, the Mullet Fans.
Only
Lawrence.
bullets or whatever.
The Only Fans Mullet Man Florence. Yeah, I don't know. They're coming up with a lot of nicknames, but I think we settled on the only mullet fans, Lawrence here.
Oh boy, yeah, Dusty's a character, so shout out to him.
He certainly is, but you are indeed as well with that mullet flying around. So nevertheless, you get ready to get back to green flag racing. Do you think you got some, please, boys?
Oh, I'd hope so. It seems like I'm the only one running the right line, so hopefully we can make it interesting.
Well, you might want to get to it, my friend. So here we go.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you later here. Robert, thanks for your time here, bud. Sorry for the interruption as we get back to the action here. Now green flag back on out at the Champion Power Equipment restart zone. Fielding back in once again, and as usual, the Gale is once on the start and on the shot. Really trying to find those long runs, though. He knows those short runs are getting a little bit more hectic for his taste. Those guys will be trying to catch him every inch, every turn they can get him off of, and spinning tires are certainly going to be a big problem on those starts, as much as downshifting and misshifting is. Stephen Tire Plus saying he left the man sleepless over here at Backer, you know, yeah. I'm not saying that on air there, Plus. Richard Forshell right now trying to make some magic happen on the Magic Mile. He had suffered earlier on some major issues and headaches, but I think if there's one thing he can be happy with, though, is knowing last night he finally knocked off a little bit of a breakdown on his end and got a W on a track that he has never won on. So at least for here on PTM Racing TV standards, I say that's good enough for me. Gar Snyder ended up getting caught up there with Kevin Kersher, but he has refired the car. Car is back up and running and back out on the track in field play. Trying to hammer down, get ahead of the field as Triple Trey Candy Play Whitehead doing much of the same. A lot of guys in this right now just kind of going single file, trying to keep themselves on pace and out of control. You saw earlier when they were going double in and they were going through the corners, they were having a hard time staying out of trouble because the fact the corners are just so slippery there. You just can't overdrive any of those parts and any of those track limits. On board here with Craig Zanfam Janzik. Last few weeks have not been so kind to Janzik, which is kind of a shocker because usually Lady Luck kind of rolls with him on his side, but it appears he's either taking up my bad luck on all the tracks that are bigger than a mile long, or he is not just, or something is going wrong with the equipment in there. Either way, he's had a bunch of issues and a bunch of headaches he's fighting with time and time again, but the fact that he keeps coming out here and trying to race his tail end off just shows you the level of commitment that he brings to the table no matter where he goes. And at the end of the day, that definitely deserves a lot of respect and a lot of commitment out on this playing field. As you see, Jason Taylor, number 15, Remington, trying to get back on the attack as well. He got caught off in a few mishaps earlier, most notably earlier with the man in front of him, Triple Trey, Candy Play Whitehead. Trying to keep him and the Buffalo Wings machine out of problematic zone right now, as the hometown boy here from Maine, if you will. Of course, this is Mr. Steve Clegg, but again, this is really kind of a homecoming for him because this is the closest track he's got on circuit, and he told me earlier today he has not won in so long that he really would not mind having a little bit of a chance or a little help to get that W back out on his win column. Nathan Meyer right now dealing with Christian Wilcox at 53, and I've said, I know I say it a lot on the show, but it really, ever since that win at Daytona, I am not lying to you guys, this guy has come into his own. He finally has kind of figured out the way, the sense, and found the momentum that really, I think we've all kind of said before, and we'll say it again, he definitely was going to find eventually. But if there's one thing I could notice that he's been trying to really struggle with, and he's been battling with out on the track, I think it's really just been himself. I think he's been keeping a close eye on everything out on the track, but he keeps forgetting he's got to remember who he is. And I think after he got that W, he remembered who he was and how he can take that confidence level and that boost into perspective into the track zone. Speaking of into the track zone right now, currently the Marauder James Harris, I think, trying to find a way around the wild shot of Eli there. Eli Child's holding him back while the 40 of Janzik, I think, maybe trying to social distance more than I usually do at my job or any local mark here in Iowa. Whoa, well, so much for that though. The Wild Child into the grassy plain, sends it to the wall, and a huge little kiss and lick of that wall protection gets that left front bumper bent in a little bit. I don't know if that's going to affect the tire there. take the onboard camera here. We'll see if we can take a look at it. It is. So the tire is going to take a little bit of a hit and a little shredding there. Unfortunately, that will hurt him for the bit of the haul. Boy, what an absolute tough break to have to deal with that. Now struggle to keep himself out of trouble max zone. Sheldon Pearson parks it off. He's done for the night. He's going to get out of there. He's saying the car is too damaged up. He's not going to run the risk of having to just fight it out with guys when he knows this car will not work. That's a tough shape and a tough break there for him. But really, he said earlier, and he said it best, he just does not want to get caught up in all the madness again. But unfortunately, the madness found him. And you really just hate to see that happen to a guy, especially a guy that, you know, really, in my opinion, deserves his race win already. He has been running hard. He comes out here and tries to put on a fight. He does everything he can, just can't catch a break. Well, all in due time, really, and we do know those plate tracks can be a bit of a headache for him, and hopefully down the road he will get another chance, but we will see when it happens and when it will transpire. Field working their way around. We are 1/3 of the way here so far. And race fans, when we come back, there is more action. There is more to be had. We are nowhere near done with this race. There is still the ever-looming threat of Cale Gale having to go one-on-one with the drivers behind him. Will that happen, though, or can he find a way to put the magic touch on this car? Find out when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you in part by our good friends over at Champion Power Equipment. When you need the right tools for the right job and all the right generators up for your needs, there is only one branded name out there that does it all, and that is Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to check them out on their local listings of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also check out their local store at championpowerequipment.com to find the next and latest and greatest product for your next improvement and your next work you've got going on. Back to the action right now here. We're going to move it up to the front here and look up where the high side and the low line are being put to good use. You can see that little dark lighter in the track zone. That's where most of the drivers will usually hit up the corners. That's where usually I would say the fastest line can be. But the uniqueness of New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it allows you to go up into the middle brackets and kind of diamond off to really get a hard charge. But the risk you run is your tires can spin out a little bit more than usual. So you have to kind of find a way to filter that in and kind of keep it more under control. And that's easy. That can be a bit of a challenge here, as George Young has now even parked it up for the night. He is going to call this one done and over. He's in pit road right now. I don't know, maybe something has gone wrong down there for the 48 here. We will have a little listen in while he is currently in there. See if everything is okay. George, you okay down there, bud?
No, I'm not. I'm blowing up. So I'm pretty much done now. I guess I got caught up in that caution. I slid into whoever was flying across the track. I guess the damage was a little worse than I thought.
Well, that's a darn shame there, unfortunately. I know you were really running hard out there trying to give it everything you can, but, I mean, if there's anything you could have done a little differently, would you have tried to do it differently here on the track?
Man, I was driving good. I don't think I could have done anything different on track. I guess maybe I should have, got it fixed a little better. After it occurred, but I didn't think I was damaged that bad, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it was always saying this time and age, man, it's racing and it'll happen to the best of us, but we do appreciate coming on board and being a good sport, and thanks for talking with us, George. Best of luck in the future, sir.
Thanks, man. Take care.
48, George Young on the call list there, unfortunately having all sorts of problems and having to call it a night. Looking right back in the pack, though, you saw the little bump and tag from the 77, Brian Aronzo, moving hometown boy Steve Clegg out of the way and out of the playing field. He wanted nothing to do with him and said, I am looking to take spots up here, sir. Aronzo, the former champion of the Truck Series, looking to try to regain that strength, that rebuild that foundation of momentum he created and had for himself, but he has not been able to do so in quite some time. He told me earlier today that he was hoping that would change and it can get a little bit better, but it just has not in his case. But right now, he is still doing a good job keeping up there in the top 10, so you know he's still working pretty hard down there. Speaking of working hard, Kevin Kersher having to work hard just trying to get back into this race here. He had all sorts of problems from turn 4's end. He really got himself into a bad place and a bad spot, but give credit to him. He's doing everything he can. And speaking of that, he actually was our Clash and Duel number one winner for back when we started the series up back at Daytona. Then Duel 2 would go to Harley Barletta, where the winner at Daytona would end up going to Kyle Holden with a huge victory there. And then head down to USA, we saw Cale Gale win it out. So normal would see the Zanny fan put it back in victory lane, where Martinsville would then be that champ would be the normal champion power equipment truck driver you see on television Friday nights in great Grant Enfinger, putting on a great performance there and a good showing. Cale Gale then would return to victory lane after an incredible battle with him and Randall Fawkes, where Fawkes would just simply come up one corner short of fuel and lose it all. But he would get his revenge eventually from Nashville Super Speedway, but Myrtle Beach would then go to Cale as well, with then Brad Patton walking away with the victory for the first time at Rockingham. And then at Kansas, it would finally be Fawkes' time, bringing out the 98 for his fellow teammate Grant Enfinger, winning it there. Richmond would cease to be Cale Gale's firing squad yard, and that would be then next week at Watkins Glen. Sean the Bounty Hunter Bounty would shock the world and defeat every single one of the top tier guys at their own game, and literally putting up a fight to the Zanny fam on his home turf of all things. It was a strong showing there and a great race to be had, but it would not be the last time we heard Janzik's name in there, as he would become the All-Stars winner on the dirt. And then last weekend, it was Chicagoland, where Brad Patton brought out the big guns and once again returned with that fiery vengeance out on our circuits. And now here at the Magic Mile so far, as we are approaching halfway mark point. Currently our drivers down here in Loudon, New Hampshire, keep working their way down and working their way around, looking for opportunities when they can and trying to strike when they can get it. Guys like Christian Wilcox even are one of them at that point. Trying to show his own little maple moxie around with that 22 of Steve Clegg. Clegg's been doing a great job kind of keeping himself in play and in balance here this whole time. It really hasn't been too much of a nuisance for anything other than himself. Just needs to kind of keep it more under control and just watch out for the runs here. Brad Patton, the number 10 Ford Mustang, trying to do whatever he can to keep up with the top three. Remember, he's got already a couple wins this season, so he's pretty much got himself in a pretty good spot to lock in for the playoffs picture. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want to try to carry that momentum and that wave of success with the United Stan Smithfield 10. He's been doing a great job hitting it down and really firing off with everything he's got there. Firing him off right now. Cale Gale, your leader right here at this moment, actually going to have to work his way around George Young in the 48. George, well, yeah, give him credit too. He's not giving out yet. Still wants to try to run his tail end out. It's always one thing I love about those guys down there, man. They just will not quit. I've tried to get him to quit before, because I always told him, like, how do you even deal with Thacker? And yet he's just like, I don't know. He just kind of showed up one day and he just kind of became part of the crew. So it just shows you the mindsets of those guys. They have a lot of fun with it, though, to say the least. Field paced out a little bit. Everyone kind of scattering out a little more. This is definitely the long run they were looking for. But again, you know, those drivers that slowed up or got loose too early, they lose a lot of momentum and a lot of grip and challenges. But for guys like the Man Beast Wayman Jr., it's not about that speed. It's a matter of just trying to make this thing last the entire time. The Man Beast and the man's maintenance machine tonight, he's been known for one thing, and well, his only man's, besides his only man's, obviously, and his mellow yellow skins on that car. But he's been known to try to do a full lap run on fuel and not really worrying about tires. I've seen him come so close and so far just from doing that kind of strategy, that kind of mindset every time he played out on the track. But the saddest part is, though, he still has yet to get a single W in his entire career. Not in trucks, not in the Riley Challenge, not even in Cup. Oh! And a huge smack right in the back there for Garth Snyder. Got a huge chunk there. I believe that was from John Thacker. Yeah, but that was the attack. That was the Thacker man right there in the 56. Had to double check that one because again we've kind of got two schemes going on with him and George Young. But for at least for Thacker though, was able to keep the car at least under control and not damage up too badly. Sadly though, that front end does take a little bit of a bump and a little bit of a noggin knocker, and the 88 of Garth Snyder definitely got his rear end kind of punched in a little. The downside is though, is now having that aerodynamics of the car kind of pull back on Thacker. He's now going to have to try to work in the short track magic here. And Jonathan Diamond here having a little bit of problems of his own. Getting the 39 a little loosey-goosey. Off of turn number 2 as we're halfway through this one. Let's take a look at the PTM instant replay. And once again, oh man, Fortshell looks a little bit different than compared to last night. That thing was clean as a whistle last night. That is not the same case here. Diamond drove it way too hard off and unfortunately just could not get the car to take a set. Thankfully, no caution was thrown, only single car. And the officials doing a great job giving him time to just let the car come back in and come back to full strength. Instead of just getting a little caution happy and put that yellow flag out. Back on live feed though right now, Brock Head, as he's now nicknamed as Brock Whitehead, as you know him, trying to hammer down, trying to hustle up the field. He's had a bit of a stroke of disingenuous situations and a lot of hardships in his events and through his racing, but there's one thing you cannot deny about him is his charisma and his dedication to attack and a fight. To be affirmative and under control with how young of an age he is. He's been pretty much kind of locked and loaded whenever he gets out on the track, but tonight anyway, this is a whole nother ball game compared to most of the other tracks he's very good at running at. Of course, with a W though in his win column for the Truck Series, still looking for his first Cup win, but like we've told Dre Whitehead before, he and Brock both very young in their age when they were trying to get those championship runs and get those wins in, but you know, we've always said before, we'll say it again, you know, sooner or later you're just going to have to falter and fight back from the bottom end to learn where you truly came from. And I don't think anyone's really learned how far it comes from grace to falling from grace. And then 34, the mullet, what do we call him now? The only mullet fans, Lawrence. That 34 has beaten and battered, and he's had a tough time with turn 2 all day long. I really don't even know what's getting him so out of control and out of whack here, but literally that spot is just sending him straight right and left, and he's not able to stay under control and keep it on play and on track. It seems like maybe, if anything, he's going to have to watch out for that for the long haul, because if he's not careful, that could be a factor for him. That could be a huge situation that changes the game. If there's one thing you don't want to hear around here is something changes the game up on your end and your levels. That's where added pressure and added issues really make it difficult as a driver to kind of come back from. As we continue to go along right now, currently everyone just doing their own thing, kind of doing their own style racing. They're either long term or short term. Some have headed into pit road already. Kevin Ward is one of them here, currently trying to get out of there. Exiting out of pit road right now, heading back for the track and heading back for the run. Looking to maybe grab some grip and grab some momentum in his corner. He knows that there's a lot at stake. You see right now, looks like George Young, even though he is currently quite a few laps down and has lost a lot of time out, he is doing everything humanly possible to maybe make something work, as Kevin Ward can't quite say the same here. Blue Springs 112 puts it to a dead stop. I think he was coming out of pit road and ends up found himself into the wall protection, sliding out a little too aggressively here. Let's take a look at the PTM replay. Oh, I take it back. He was out on the track, but there was more to the story than we realized. Randall Falks got past him here. Brad Patton right behind him, and this is a scary thought if you're a leader watching this here, because you just don't know if they're going to actually spin out completely or if they're going to just be able to save it. Thankfully, Ward was saving it there for turn 4, but I don't think this is the drift. I don't think this is Drifter's track tonight here, Kevin. I don't think you're supposed to drift the car around. Sadly, he drifted it a little too hard, and that thing did not want to stabilize. What a tough break for him and the crew. Unfortunately, he really did a good job here last night. Pulled off a great run, put on a great fight, put on a great battle, coming away top 5. And it's been a while since we were able to see him do that. But man, give him credit where credit's due. He did everything in his power just to do that, and really, that definitely deserves a lot of love and respect for it. Gale just marching through the field and marching through the track. Now he is caught up to the man beast, William Manns Jr., as well as Mr. Tyler Meeks. Gale looking to possibly make them run off a little bit further into the distance and into the ground. He's lapped up a few guys already. Well, he's going to lap up even more in this point. Gale going to have to try to head to pit road. Oh, wait, Peniment caution comes out here right before he heads into pit road. Kevin Ward once again coming to a dead stop on the front straightaway here. Whoa. Gale catching a huge break before he got into pit road. Caution flew right out, and I can hear it from the spotters, and he just told him, no, get out, don't do it. Wow. Here's a look at the replay. And once again, turn number 4. That catches him off guard. This time, though, it happened right in front of the leaders. The officials were not going to let it happen. They call caution. Gale was going to go ahead to pit road, so I mean, when you think about it, this might actually be an extremely big break. At the same time, that was a very lucky call for him, because that's going to help him now be able to get into pit road and let everyone else decipher what they're going to opt to do. Either way, though, for Mr. Cale Gale, now he is in the driver's seat. We'll have a little listen in with him later here, but let's take it down now. Go Fast Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen. Now here he is, the number 10 driver. This is Mr. Brad Patton. And Patton, we talked about it earlier, man. You've been really hustling your game and really getting better throughout this season with a couple wins. But here on a track like New Hampshire, I gotta believe you're really looking to put to the test.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this type of track. Flat surfaces and me don't mix, so we'll see. We're basically fighting for third place. I don't think anybody's got anything for Cal or Randall. I mean, their setup is just ridiculously fast.
Seems like it, but you still have been able to hold out pretty good. But as you said before, you're going for a top 3. You know, you're gonna have to at least eventually dance with these Zanny fam. What's it gonna be like when you have to go around with some of those guys there?
It's going to be fun. I've been enjoying the battle so far. Like I said, I got the battle Cal and Randall there for about 20 laps, and then after that, their setup just takes off. Meanwhile, I figured the rest of us are getting tight. So just make some prior adjustments here. I just got in the back of Kevin a little bit, so I don't know if my front end's messed up or not. But we'll see if this thing is loosened up now.
From our point of view, I would say no. Just a heads up.
10-4.
All right. Well, Brad, appreciate your time here today, man, for Go South Motorsports. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks, bud.
Brad Patton coming on board here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a little listen in. Good to hear from him once more. Let's take it down now and talk with the Zanny fan, Craig Jantic. We didn't talk with him the other day, so we'll have a little listen in with him now. How's Jantic? This so far has been a pretty stellar night for you and your crew, Angie, to hang in top 5, the 3 line here, but you're looking to get a little bit more so on this restart, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to have to look for a little bit more. We're going to have to also be a little bit mindful of our team points position now. Having our cars in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is huge for that. Man, that was a great run. This was a very, very fun place to drive right now, thanks to the how much dependent it is on the right rear, and that's a style of driving that I really, really enjoy. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't think I've got Kale speed. Actually, correction, I do not have Kale speed. I don't have Randall speed. I might have Brad speed if we are a little bit more careful with our tires here on this run. Man, this is going to be a very fun.
It will indeed. Well, nevertheless, we'll let you have the fun and all the glory here, but there's still a lot of racing left to go, my friend. Best of luck.
Yes, there is. And shout out to my best friend Spencer France and his wife Ariel had their first kid yesterday, Colton David France. So happy for them. So thankful to call them my friends.
Oh, well, congratulations to them and you, sir. What an awesome thing to hear about.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. There's Andy fan Greg Jantic showing a little love to the friends of support. Yeah, right now these drivers are about to get all the support and then some they need on this restart, but which one will get the elusive W and the big victory here? The next go around, we go green. We'll be right back after this quick commercial message here on PTM Racing TV. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, presented in part by our good friends over at Champion Power Equipment. If you guys need the best tools and the best power generators and equipment on this planet, well, there is only one branded name out there that is to truly trust in, and that is Champion Power Equipment. You be sure to check them out on their local listings on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also be sure to check out their website at championpowerequipment.com so you know for sure what base equipment you need for your next work schedule. All right, field now set in motion. Lights are off on the pace car. It's time to go the distance. We'll have about 45 laps or 44 laps remaining on this via restart. The Champion Power Equipment restart zone will put everyone to their test. You heard Jantic say earlier, I have not the speed. Gale does, but that is okay. He just needs to kind of hang in there with this team and kind of keep up position and timing on the points. And I think that's all he'll ask for. Back on the restart zone here, we are off and running. Nathan Meyer, that's 24. Gonna now be right with where he wants to be, which is his teammate in the Zanny fam. Over alongside though, here we'll see what kind of speed truly is being whipped up and being put to the test for Randall Falks. The number 3 driver looking to master and plow and pastor the way through the track. See a lot of guys trying to move up stop side. You see a lot of them trying to move in the middle, maybe trying to find speed or get some kind of consistency and control under their hoods, under their track here. Tires were kind of replaced out, and a lot of them ended up getting a whole new set out there trying to get somewhat relevated and fixed up. You can see the distances and travel and gain. Patton and Lorenzo definitely are up there with them. Fox as well. Went in there a little bit later on compared to, if you want to say, the top 5, which even Man Beast, William Mann Jr. is now in that driver's hunt to possibly become a long center on the long center with the fuel line. And take a look back at the pit strategy here. Remember when Gale was going in for pit road? He was on a 72 lap stint, so you now know he doesn't have to worry about trying to stay out via the long term for fuel. So the Man Beast now, he's going to have to throw away his strategy of trying to hold back on fuel. He's going to have to worry about trying to hold back. He's going to have to worry about not holding back on speed. And that is a lot more difficult, I will say, than trying to maneuver around with the control and the way the track is. Because again, this is more of a driver's track. It's all about finding your line and hitting your mark. It can be a 2-lane track, and I'll even say it. It can be a 3 wide showbiz, but it certainly does test everyone's patience and their waters. down across the corner zone here right now. Randall Falk's working his way in. Brian Lorenzo, much of the same. And, you know, at this moment here, the Marauder James Harris, he was up there with that top half earlier on. And you remember, he loves those long run green flag races. He set his cars up more, though, as of late for the short term, as we saw back at Kansas Speedway last time out on the Truck Series. But today, Cup Series, it seems like maybe he had a bit of a more long run in basis because he was hanging in that top 5 for quite some time. Even duking it out with his old rival there in the Wild Child, Eli Childs. But tonight, unfortunately, that has kind of been thrown away to the curbside for the Wild Child. We'll bring him back in a little later on if we can to see how he's been handling his nerves since that little situation. But I guarantee as a driver, I know exactly what he's feeling. He's feeling the added pressure and the added struggle that he was given so much work and so many things to do, but it just did not come out the way he wanted it or go in through the way he was hoping for. And it certainly is a tough break to say the least. He did not, obviously, as a driver, you never want to see that. You never want that to happen, but you just kind of got to go out there and put everything in your breadbasket and hope for the best. Speaking of hard charges right now, oh my, look out, 3 wide, so right in between, and George Young just got sent to the Shadow Realm. I'm not so sure he's going to appreciate that little 3 wide through there for the Man Beast, but William Mann Jr., I mean, give him credit where credit's due. He really is sending it out there and doing what he wants, what he needs to as a driver, but this is extremely aggressive for a driver like Mann Jr. I've not seen him really do moves like that in quite some time. That was very aggressive. Speaking of aggressive, this is something I was not expecting, but this anti-fan Craig Jancic has muscled his way around Cale Gale in the 83, so now Cale is being put back into the driver's zone, but look at the lap counter here. This is kind of what Jancic wants to see here. He wants to kind of see if he can hold Cale back just a little bit, but I'll guarantee you there's one thing that separates Gale and Giles from what they did back in the Truck Series just 2 seasons ago, that being Jancic and him, is that Gale has had Jancic's number a few more times than not in this season compared to everyone else, and Jancic has even said point blank that Gale is just a little bit of a better driver than him at times, but he just doesn't want to admit up front that he has given up to him. He wants to take him down as much as he can. Well, you're going to be put to your test here there, Sandy fan, because right now Gale is literally right behind you looking for everything and then some to knock you off the totem pole. The Blackstone Management Ford Mustang versus that Verizon Wireless 5G Ford Mustang of Jancic. All out, firing it out, putting everything to good use and putting everything to good momentum keys. Look out as Gale sneaks his way on the left side, inside line now being charged up. He's got to run. Can he make it work here? Coming down in turn number 1. Jancic will try to dime it off the top side and bring it back down quickly to avoid letting Gale get a runoff to the outskirts. This is exactly what you need to do. Unlike the usual series you would see ran around here like the Wheel and Modifieds or anything open wheel, this track allows for multiple grooves and angles because again those fenders really be challenged and tested with every limit and every ounce, and unfortunately Jancic could not hold back the run Cale Gale had. It was just too powerful. Like I said earlier, Jancic would at least be able to say he let a couple laps in, but it was not to be. The 9 of Eli, the Wild Child, is indeed fighting his way back on in with Christian Wilcox in the 53 right in front of him. Childs has definitely had a bit of a season and a half for him and his crew, obviously dating back from, you know, the pressure that he had to come into the season, just knowing he is the reigning and defending season champion, and really a champion that in his mind he never truly felt like he was ever going to get, because the competition levels back then he thought were just way too high and too aggressive to knock out time and time again. But week by week basis it started to change, and ever since then we had more drivers come in, and of course some of those NASCAR guys coming on down, they really have made some of these guys learn at their highest peak and their highest level to get better out on the track, and it really made for some impressive showings from them. About 29 laps remaining here, and this is, well, I just realized now what I said here. 29 laps remaining, and look who I got my eye on right now, the 29 of the Man Beast. I guess I set myself up for that one. Brock Whitehead, by the way, not on the lead lap here, trying to avoid being put any more laps down, but he is really being a burden here to the Marauder James Harrison. I think we all know that Harris and Whiteheads do not mix and match very well. It's like an odd couple. You just don't want to put them together, but it ends up kind of working together if they're in the same boat. Although Harris probably would disagree with me on that one now that I think about it. Well, the track's at 82. Brock Whitehead, man, he's definitely going to be holding a lot more of a grudge and a little bit more of a run here in the coming weeks to follow. Remember, folks, next week we'll be heading it down to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and then on the 14th we go down to Michigan. The 21st is Bristol, and I'm not going to say what might happen there, but I have a feeling we may see some tempers fly. We'll just say that. Charlotte Motor Speedway will be down on the 28th, then Talladega on January 4th. You'll then see on January 11th my home track, Iowa Speedway, returns to the show. Then Dover will be a recurrence at the 18th. And then the 25th, your season championship will be down at Auto Club Speedway. Folks, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss the action. And to be sure you never miss the action here on PTM Racing TV, because we got multiple series and multiple races coming out this time around. Be sure to like and follow us up here on Facebook Live and Facebook so you never miss a beat, you never miss a show. And also head over to our YouTube for exclusive live streaming of certain races and certain battles. That is on our PTM Racing TV YouTube channel. Subscribe there so you never miss a beat. And once again, from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, without you guys, we cannot thank you enough for it all. Managing their way through the track right now currently. Richard Fornshell still even. He's having so many problems there tonight. Really, it's not even funny at this point. I think he's just trying to keep up the distance, keep up with his timing here. Bit of a long day for him and his crew, but man, he did everything he could in his power. But now he'll have to be the guy that's right in front of, really what you could say, a wall of madness, and Nathan Meyer, that 24 Oregon machine. I believe that's the Oregon Ducks 24 style. Now, you got to remember, guys, I don't watch college football, and I barely watch the NFL, so please do not crucify me in the comments section. I try to keep up with some of these things, but I'm not the best with these kind of paint schemes. But I do know, at least back for playing NCAA on the PS2 and all that at least those are the Oregon colors, so at least give me that. And also it says Oregon on the side, so I guess I kind of cheated a little bit. Anyway, at least he found. Well, I will say, at least he put on the right color scheme for that one, because I kept giving him grief for driving a Jeff Gordon style car with that Chevrolet Camaro on there. So at least maybe he was listening in. And he was like, okay, I'm getting tired of being kind of getting crucified out on the track and out on the broadcast booth. Maybe it's time I changed it up a little bit. So thank you, Meyer, but I know it's probably not going to last me all season. So I'm just waiting for it to come back out, man. Speaking of come back out, how about this come back out party here? As Eli the Wild Child and Christian Wilcox now do battle up with the top 10 with Brian Lorenzo, the 77, in the midst of things. That may be his William Mann Jr. slowing down slightly here, but trying to stay away and being on the verge of trouble zone. Every driver for themselves. George Young, the 48, remember he is a couple laps down. Remember he blew the motor a little earlier on, had to head back into pit road to get that thing squared away. It has not been the same since then. It has not been up to his standards and up to his craft. And really, again, just been a complete underdog story since we've seen him out on this series and on this run. Wanted so desperately and so badly to be able to finally get a W on this series and on this track, but any track really for that matter, any series, but it just does not come yet. But we do know Talladega is an equalizer, and that's coming up soon. And also remember that we have plenty of track left on the truck side of things which include, of course, Watkins Glen, Dover, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Bristol, Auto Club, and all of them as well. So there's quite a few tracks in there that could be the great equalizer that they need in order to really hit it big and hit it strong. And Talladega Superspeedway will be ran on Valentine's Day of February 14th, so you just know there could be some magic happening there for those truck drivers. It's kind of crazy to believe that already we've been through, well, we're on, what, our 4th season with these guys? We joined them back in season 2, watched them fully on season 3, and now full time on season 4, and hopefully we'll get them for season 5. If I'm being dead honest with you guys, I've just been thoroughly impressed how creative and how big this league has gotten with drivers and driver count. For what all they've dealt with and what all they do with on a timely basis, it's impressive to me that they have been so clean cut and doing everything they can to try to give everyone a show and a bit of a chance out on the tracks. It definitely deserves a lot more respect than I feel they are given or they have been earning. So you definitely have to show them a little love for that. But right now, at this moment, when it comes to the race-wise, I don't think there is no telling or saying that everyone was right about this one. Cale Gale and Randall Falks are just in a whole nother league right now. And I'm not talking like they're not racing this league. They're like just out of the water fast. You could say they have found the monster lobster, and they're having a feast on the monster lobster itself. Gale just kind of muscling his way around. He's hit his corners every single time, stayed under control. And with only about 16 laps remaining, or 15, I believe. What? Yeah. Oh, there we go. I was wondering what the heck happened to our time limit here. Gotta love it when we have a little time freeze there on our end. Hopefully we got that fixed up, unfortunately. Sorry about that, folks. See if we get the lap counter to go down this time by. Yep, there we go. We got it down now, so at least it's working right. About there, we're really going to have glitch graphic gremlins popping up when there's only a few laps remaining. I know we've had that before in New Hampshire, but I did not want that to happen again. That's the last thing anybody would want to see here. Kevin Kashur had a bit of a rough night, unfortunately, with that Champion Power Equipment machine. The Chevrolet, though, will definitely be back, and we'll see Kevin back out on the field once again in due time, but I can guarantee you that he was a little bit disappointed, a little dissatisfied with his driving and his skill here tonight. Hopefully we will see more of him coming soon and more chances and opportunities for him to strike it big here. But right now, coming out of turn number 4 here, it is the Man Beast and William Mann Jr. going up against their triple tray can play Whitehead, and lets Whitehead back behind him. Whitehead, I just now realized, also is a lap down in this scenario. The Man Beast on the lead lap, currently on 9th place, trying to hold back Eli the Wild Child as we now roll the counters down even further. How close and how far will you go to make everything work in your favor and work out to the end of this run? Well, the good news is for the Mullet Man, at least for the only Mullet fans, is that he has been pretty much locked and loaded that top 5 all day. He's been keeping up there with his Zany fam and Nathan Meyer, and both guys right now, team-wise, are helping each other and helping themselves to quite the feast, I would say. Team points will definitely be the biggest statement, the biggest scenario for them, and they need all the help they can get at this point. Rounding them out, rounding them down here. 10 laps remain. What an absolute fight to the end, and a position filled of battles and cornering. But unfortunately, unless you had a 3 on the right side of your name, or I don't think there was any catching them or any doubt what was going to happen tonight. The 83 of Cale Gale, your leader. The 3 of Randall Fox, currently in second, teammate to him. And then the 3 teammates behind him, Jantic, Meyer, and Lawrence. Locked up the top 5, in this case, locked up the scenario and the points of team events here. Helping them keep their chances and hopes alive. 8 laps to go. We will talk with our top 3 here in just a moment. It's going to be interesting to hear just what exactly was playing through the mindset of Cale Gale and Randall Fox throughout this event, throughout this show. Because they had to really not only work their tail ends off just to stay out of trouble, they had to literally find themselves out of trouble points and in place here for quite some time. Ooh, but that doesn't mean for 1 second that we couldn't have something pop up. You see Brian Lorenzo cutting it pretty close there with old Brock Whitehead. I don't know if Lorenzo was trying to make a big pass there to try to keep away from the man beast or Childs, but he could have ended up sending Whitehead in for a little ride. Brock had the presence of mind though to back off and stay out of trouble, and good on him, but that could have been a gnarly little situation. Well, wheeling them on down. Here it comes with only about 5 laps to go here in just a couple short turns. 20 turns remain there for Cale Gale, but for the Man Beast and Eli the Wild Child, it's all about trying to find that last gift, that last breath of fresh air in that runoff here. The Champion Power Equipment Ford Mustang doing everything he can to hang in there and try to knock off the perch of the Man Beast here in the 9th place spot. Try to put him back down to 10th. Maybe they're looking to get that bumper a little closer. Maybe make him think about it. I don't think he'll put it to him, but I think he will make him really question whether or not he will or not. I know whenever I have someone right behind me like that, I may end up mirror driving, and that's not what you want to do. You want to stay focused on the road and forget the guy behind you, or the girl too. We can't forget we've had some of our females and ladies come out and show the boys up a little bit. Four laps now with 3 remaining. Cale Gale just marching through the field like a soldier on the battlefield. He has been tearing it up. More than a monster truck can do back in the early 2000s. There has been so much equipment being put to good use and put to the run here tonight. And Gale is just showing the last-ditch efforts that he has left in it. As for the Mully Man, Robert Lawrence and Nathan Meyer, they last-ditch battle for top spot and supremacy here as Lawrence. Trouble there coming off of turn 4. Car got sideways, a little loosey-goosey, almost sent him for the ride. Nathan Meyer trying now to make him pay for that. Man, just to stand clear of it and avoid trouble. But is that going to be long enough? Well, Meyer once again will hit up on the wall protection once more, but avoids and evades trouble. 2 laps remain though for Cale Gale. There's a reason why he's a former NASCAR driver. There's a reason why he is one of, if not the toughest competitors to grace the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series at this moment. This season has been an absolute fight and a half, and a will to live and a will to win. There is one thing on his mind, and that is to be crowned the champion when it all is said and done. Well, to do that right here with the white flag out, I think he's going to push himself one little step closer to that limit. Off on the back straightaway. Down into the final turns, into turn 3, down into turn number 4. Put some respect on the 83. Cale Gale will win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. An all-out night full of chaotic racing and madness in all forms, high and low. And looks like we're having a little drag race coming down the line here. Robert Lawrence. He almost gave that one up to Meyer. Meyer was not able to make the pass, though, by about 900ths of a second. He caught him there, but wasn't enough nevertheless. And a little show of respect from Randall Fawkes to his teammate. If you add the 80 in to get to the 3, you have an 83, and Gale is that winner in the 83. We're going to take a look at our race results now, popping up on your screen here in just a moment. As he puts it right up on the finish line here. Here comes your race results presented by Champion Power Equipment. He'll do his little burnout. Cale Gale, though, winning it in New Hampshire. Randall Fawkes coming away second, third of the Danny fam, Craig Jandick, fourth to Robert Lawrence, fifth to Nathan Meyer, sixth to Brad Patton, seventh to the Marauder James Harris, eighth to Brian Lorenzo, ninth to the Man Beast Windman Jr., 10th goes to Eli the Wild Childs, 11th to Wilcox, and 12th going to Tyler Meeks, rounding out your top 12 in this case. We'll go ahead and take a look at our final results here and our other finishers while we get our other drivers set in motion and ready to go. It's time to have a listen in with our top 3. Start them up on position zone. It is the Zanti fam in the 4G Verizon, 5G Verizon Wireless. I keep forgetting you had a G there, my friend.
Yeah, one new G of late, which is great. It's funny. I think I was probably the last interview before that last run there, when I told you I didn't have Cale or Randall speed, and then for just like, I don't know, a minute and a half, I thought that I had Cale and Randall speed, but I quickly learned that I don't. So great win to Cale, great battle there, and a great battle with Randall as well. After we conceded second place to him, I'm really happy with this outcome because I didn't really think that I didn't totally expect it, and those are the ones that you got to cherish the most, I feel.
You certainly do got to cherish them and really kind of make these things last as long as you can. But for you and your crew, I think what you said before you went out and did this last bit of run was you wanted to work with the team and try to build up some team points there. Do you think that was kind of what kind of helped you keep your cool and keep yourself out of the way of troublesome spots?
I think that was absolutely accomplished, yeah. And as I look down the running order here, I do believe, if my iRacing would cooperate with me, which is hard sometimes, I do believe we should have the best team points. We should receive max points for our finish, which is great. And I'm, as an owner, I'm super thrilled with my teammates' performances. I know Brock got trapped a lap down, which is unfortunate. We were hoping for a quick caution after that last one to get him back on the lead lap and basically seal his top 12 finish. But my boys Nathan and Robbie pulling up in fourth and fifth, 3 cars in the top 5 is an amazing day. And as we try to keep BSM Racing in our sights, that's how you got to do it.
You certainly do indeed. Well, nevertheless, Janzik, as you are walking away here tonight from Luda, New Hampshire, with the top 3 podium finish, is there anybody you want to thank for this one?
Yeah, I'm super appreciative for Champion Power Equipment for their sponsorship of my truck, as well as their league sponsorship here in the Cup End. The best generators money can buy, so dial up championpowerequipment.com if you ever need a generator. And thanks to you guys at PTM Racing TV for the just simply amazing broadcasts. Even though my race last night was absolutely terrible, I still had a blast watching that fight at the end in the Truck Series. I do suggest that everybody check that out. And thanks to the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. Listen to them Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern at freebeerandhotwings.com. And the rest of our league sponsors, Green Mountain Grills, Blaster, Avalanche, so many great partners here.
It's so many great partners and not enough to keep track of. But Janzik, appreciate your time here tonight, man.
I'm winded. Go get Randall and Cale. They had the winning pace. Go get them.
We'll talk with them. But nevertheless, thank you for your time, sir. What was the season for you so far?
10-4, man. Thanks so much.
Does any fan Craig Janzik? Yeah, he definitely is a little out of breath. Let's just say that. But again, I probably would be too with everything going on down there. Let's take a listen now in here with Randall Fawkes in the number 3. Randall, congratulations on second place finish. Now, storyline here tonight, point blank. Everyone said you and Gale had the speed. Where the heck did you find it?
Just put a lot of work into the setup and just got it to where it was comfortable to drive and just kind of took it easy and let everybody else fall off while we just kind of maintain.
You certainly did maintain and keep control of the pace and the momentum, and as we've said before on the iRacing side and in racing in general, if you could keep the momentum going from week to week to week, it really seems to help out. How much did that affect for you and your team here tonight, just to be able to work as hard as you did at a track like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same mindset. We try to show up with the best piece, possible, and you know, try not to let bad luck happen. And if we can limit that, then the finishes are gonna come for us. We know we have the pace to run well, so that's what we try to do, and we just try to be efficient about it.
Absolutely there. Well, nevertheless, so as you walk away here tonight with a second place finish, is there anybody you want to thank here for your finish here tonight?
Yeah, congrats to Kale. He ran a heck of a race. I hate that yellow come out. I was gonna see if I could undercut him a little bit and maybe get the lead from him. I felt like I might have been a little bit better on the longer run, but other than that, it was a solid race for us. But I gotta thank Kevin Kerchar, Champion Power Equipment, all the sponsors, you guys for putting on the broadcast. I love going back and watching it the next day while I'm at work. So just everybody involved. It was a good clean race tonight. It was really fun.
Well, I always appreciate you coming on board and showing a little love and support. We certainly hope you enjoyed this one, man, and congratulations for a second place finish. We will see you very, very soon here.
Shout out to Boyd Hogan and Reaper Speed Lab.
All right, you guys heard it loud. Randall, thanks for your time, man.
Thanks.
Randall, folks, ladies and gentlemen, your race bridesmaid, if you will, in second place. But if you're going to be a bridesmaid, why not fall to Kale Gale in the 83? He now joins me here right out on the victory lane surface here, ladies and gentlemen, the 83 Kale Gale. And Kale, you hopped out of that car pretty quick, man. You sure wanted to just get out here and enjoy it here tonight with this long haul you had to do here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I really felt like coming in tonight we would have a shot at winning the race, and the car was really good. Really just was able to manage the tires. This is one of my better tracks, and want to thank Reaper Speed Labs and Randall Fox for the set, and Kevin with Blackstone Management for everything that he does, and we had a good race.
You certainly did indeed. Here, obviously pulling up some great runs and some good moments here. I gotta ask you though, as you kind of get closer to the end of the season and you're getting right up there into playoff contention and playoff series, what's really one big thing you're gonna be kind of hoping for, or kind of keeping an eye out when you get more closer to that end?
Yeah, I just raced, to be honest. We're actually on baby watch. Our baby is due here on Saturday, and I was blessed to be able to race tonight. I've really enjoyed running in the Champion Fast and Fun series. It was a good group of guys, competitive and have fun. We've had some good cars and some good runs, and we'll just keep doing that and go on to the next one.
Certainly indeed, and as you get one step closer to that, we will see what all transpires and how much more fun you can have on this circuit. But nevertheless, though, my friend, you are walking away here tonight with a W and a race win. So who do you want to thank here for this one?
Obviously, Blackstone Management, Champion Power Equipment, you guys for the broadcast. My coworker Joseph Webster watched the race again tonight, and my fiance Courtney for letting me run. Just really enjoy it. And like I said, this is one of my favorite racetracks. So coming here tonight, I had a lot of confidence, and we were able to pull off the win.
For sure there. Whenever us, Kale, appreciate your time here tonight. Congratulations once again on another win and another trip to Victory Lane here in New Hampshire.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight in the 83, Kale Gale. And for the Champion Power Equipment Blackstone Management Series, he brings home another one. So that Blackstone Management team definitely rocking on high horses. And Champion Power Equipment definitely is one of the highest power generators you can get out on that market. So if you're going to need to get anything good, you better get with them. But we appreciate their sponsor and support. We appreciate you fans tuning in here tonight. 2 more races coming at you here this week, Thursday and Friday, or excuse me, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll think we're going to have Friday off, this one. Although I cannot say for sure that we will have Fridays off too much longer. Next year, we do have something coming back here you may enjoy. So stay tuned for that. More info to come along the way. But fans, friends, family, thank you so much. As we approach near the end of 2021, it's been a wild ride, but we certainly hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. We will see you very, very soon when the green flag charges up again here on PTM Racing TV.